Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. We had Elsa for a minute, and then she disappeared. So I know there's a lot going on right now with the solar experience energies that are coming in. There's so much happening with technology and stuff. So she'll be back, but I didn't want y'all to be sitting in the waiting room waiting for us. So I decided to just come on and just to say hi. There's a lot happening. Happy 1010 portal, everybody. My goodness, the past few days, the energy has been so intense. I personally have been mostly laying down. It's been so intense lately. And so, oh, I see. I think that Elsa's here now. Perhaps she's able to join, but there's her screen. We'll see what happens. Oh, she's gone again. She's trying. Uh, the solar flare energies. Oh gosh, goodness. Have you guys seen the polar cap absorption is intense. So if you go to I usually go to spaceweather.com, excuse me, spaceweatherlive.com to for that update. And you'll see there's this red band on the top and below. Typically, that's not the case. You don't usually see that. Lately, we've not been seeing it at all. So it's been kind of cool being able to see all the how strong the solar energy is right now. I believe we're still in a G1 geomagnetic storm right now, though we're expected to have a stronger one in the next 3 to 4 hours. A lot is happening. So today, not only is the 1010 portal, but it's also the Southern Toroid meteor shower that's happening. And tonight, we'll be able to see the oh, I'm not even going to pretend to know how to pronounce that comet's name, but the translation of the Japanese, I believe, word for it is Purple Mountain. So the Mountain Atlas is now able to see it. That comet is in a 26,000 year orbit, so it won't be back around again for another 26,000 years, another galactic year, which implies that it last time it was here. I haven't done research on it, but the last time it's been here, according to that orbit, would have been a galactic year ago. Would have been when Atlantis fell. So that's really amazing. All that's happening just tonight. I know a few people who are having a birthday today, so I just want to do a shout out, by the way, for my portal baby birthdays. I love you guys. Thanks for being part of this awesome family of light. It's just been so cool, all of you. And look, we have comments. Cosmic Detective says, Mila, Elsa, yeah, we're waiting for Elsa to make it. She will make it. And she's going to keep trying. Also, we have Astra here. Welcome. Good to see you. Kenny's here. Hello. Good to see you here. Hello, says Angie as well. Hello, good to see you. Trisha, we hit G4. Okay, thank you. I've been a little bit behind. So Trisha, we're in a geomagnetic. The geomagnetic storm right now is a level 4. So that makes a lot of sense, actually, why we're having such a struggle to get on right now. KP index 8 2 hours ago. So I'll have to double check that. Just made it here. Hello from Arkansas, says Robin. Hello, Arkansas friend. It's good to see you. Cosmic Detective energy is off the charts. The winds have bladdered through Miami, and it's bizarre. Today, the last. Even the trees look different. Was buzzing around my city, and 81-year-old fabulous starseed. What a gift. Awesome. That's amazing. That's real. Yeah, dude, the weather, if anyone here is affected by any of these storms, my heart goes out to you. My love and prayers. Harmony and balance. I know there's a lot going on right now, and these solar flares, so we're in the Russell McPherson effect right now, which means the remainder of October, it'll be stronger. all the flares and stuff that come off the sun will be stronger because it's more of a direct hit versus before it's kind of more off to the side. Right now during it's because of the equinox. It lasts for a while. During the equinox window, then it's lined up more. For those of you just joining, Elsa will be here. She's trying the solar flares and stuff. I'm sure is what's affecting her technology at this point. Hello, hugs to all. Good to see you, Christina. Hugs to you. Oh, it's okay. Typos. I could read through. I know how to. I know how to read autocorrect. Autocorrect affects my world a lot too. Sally says hello. Good to see you. Hi, Sally. And Janet's here. Welcome, Janet. I'm glad that you were able to join us today. And then also Colleen. Hi, Mila. Love seeing you and Elsa. Have a bit of a headache today and sneezing a lot. Very tired, but life is good. Awesome. Yeah, very, very tired for me too. I've been feeling the heart palpitations that I was having was a little bit more pronounced than I'd like to experience. So I was a little bit concerned when it was happening. I'm like checking my pulse, I'm like, we good. That was pretty intense for a little bit. The heart palpitations that happen in conjunction with the solar flares are very common. Though every time that it happens, I always just, it's always good to be aware of your health and be sure that you're healthy and that you're okay. That it's not that it is Ascension symptoms. So if you ever do feel like that you are, feeling drawn to get to consent your doctor, of course, by all means. Where this is not medical advice that I give out. This is my experience, and from my experience, a lot of the stuff that's been happening has been exactly that. It's been Ascension related, solar flares, planetary shifting, which is all a part, having to do with Ascension, and so a lot of us have been feeling other people lately too. So there's been a lot of reports about anxiety and the anxiety feeling that's been coming in, unpleasant, unpleasant experiences, but it's getting better. Trisha, much love, Mila and everyone. Good to see you, Trisha. Welcome. And love from Greece. Jackie says love from Greece. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. That's cool that you're coming in from Greece. I have a lot of connections to Greece. Elizabeth, good morning from Australia. Good to see you, Elizabeth. Pam says, hey, good morning. Welcome. And then also Elizabeth, up all night again. Yeah, so I had that experience too. I've been really not getting the sleep that I would like. It's really fascinating. I'm having a lot more visitation by those who have passed than I ever had before, from individuals that I've never connected with before. Like I never connected with my great grandma on my mom's side, I guess, the maternal side. So like that was really surprising to have her come in. And we've been having a lot of these really fascinating connections. She spoke to me in Swedish because that's actually the only language that she never. My grandma came here with her family when my grandma was 11, and then her family, so her parents and stuff, they never, from what I understand, never picked up the language. But when she was speaking to me, I could understand what she was saying. It was always fun when people use a different language and you still understand them. It was really cool. But yeah, some really interesting stuff happening in the wee hours of the night. I would say that things are happening then more than during the day. And so you're tired all day long. You can't wait to get to sleep. And finally the sleep window shows up, and then you just can't. Now all of a sudden, now it's time now things are happening. Now beings and energies are coming in. Now we're having, it's time. And so sleeping at night has kind of become, not really happening anymore. Cosmo Detective says the normies are going through it too. It's all energy, in my opinion. Yeah, they are. I call them the muggles, the non-magic folk, right? they've been experiencing it too. And when they have these experiences and they have less understanding of what this is than we do, they kind of go into a bit of a panic, more than we do too, and so I'm just double checking. Oh, not okay, hold on. I'm going to send, while I'm talking, I'm going to also, it looks like Elsa's still having a difficulty coming in. So maybe if I give her the link again. So while I'm talking to you all, I'm going to be doing this. But so yeah, the people who are the non-magic, or the muggles or the normies, are still experiencing this along with us. However, for them, it's a little bit more scary because they have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what's happening, So hopefully this signs in the right way. I think I had to up my Facebook. That's how Elsa and I Kate. Okay, hold on. I gotta do this. Bear with me. Okay, let's do that. That should be the password. Oh, darn it. Okay, well, I'm trying, Elsa. I'm trying to give you the link. And so anyway, but along with all of this other stuff has been, okay, email has been sent to me. On top of it, the anxiety couples along with the heart palpitations, and when the heart palpitations come in, that gives us even more reason to have anxiety, right? And so while we're in the anxious experience already, and then we get the heart palpitations, which typically are a side effect of it, that actually makes it even worse. It's a whole thing. And I know that there's a lot of political stuff going on that's affecting a lot of normies too. I'm not able to get into Facebook. Maybe if I email this link to myself, and I can put it on my phone. I know, it's just, it's funny. So Elsa, just for those of you who aren't aware, Elsa's trying to join. She's just not able to. So what I'm doing right now is I'm sending myself a link so I can send it to her, because she uses Facebook only. And I don't know how to, I'm not a Facebook person. I'm not very good at Facebook. Anyway, okay, let me grab this really quick. Anyway, in the meantime, as everybody's feeling these ascension symptoms, we're all having it. We're all feeling it, whether you're, somebody who's a normie or a non-magic folk or not. There we go. Then we're all experiencing it. They do panic. I feel compassion because I've been there in the past. That's right, Cosmic Detective. It's really unpleasant, to not know what's going on. Your body's freaking out. You're going through some kind of weird, your body's changing. And we've been taught to expect that the worst case scenario, the WebMD version of whatever our explanation is for experience, right? And one of those things typically usually they have to do with like surgery or something really bad. So a lot of people get scared, and I don't buy into any of that stuff, but a lot of people don't know that they don't have to, right? Hello, Julie. Good to see you. And so a lot of people are having these experiences. Yeah, sleep activations at sleep time right now is crazy. We're getting all kinds of cool stuff at night right now. We're having also this weird vibration sensation, the shaking out, the grand shaking out. Good to see you. Welcome. And so we're having like weird, like muscle spasms and things like that. We're having, and this has been especially true for me in one of my legs. It's been really annoying because it's just about the time that it's time to rest and relax myself, meditation style, and all of a sudden I've got this like it's not a Charlie horse or anything like that, but just these weird muscle spasms that are happening. They're really annoying. Archangel Michael explained this and saying that this was the great shaking out, that there are parts of us in our bodies that aren't in alignment um, with us and where we're going. And so the shaking out allows these things to leave our form, so it's a good thing. Typically we'll notice that stuff gets kind of caught or stuck up in the corners, and so like in your joints, in your shoulders and stuff like that. But I noticed it mostly around my face when it first started to happen. That's why the message even came through to begin with, is that, so like it was the top of it was like the eyebrow, but like right here, and it would twitch on and off for like days, weeks even. And then it would switch, then it switched over to the other one. And there'd be a break and you're like, oh, finally it's gone. And then it was underneath the eye. And then it would be gone for a little while. And then underneath this eye. And then it would be the top lip here, and then the top lip here. And then, and it progressed. And now I'm noticing it really in the extremities, especially the legs. And sometimes it's really profound shaking. Some people have reported it as the sense of vibration. Also, the vibrating in the core center is a whole different thing. We're talking about here is we will notice a vibration in the center of our body. As we are the conduit of energy, the energy moves up and down through us, right? Through our whole form. And when that happens, you start to notice the vibration sensation inside your body. And it can feel kind of weird, but knowing that it's okay and that it's just regular, a lot of us are doing it, helps. And just in the core, in the center of your body there, like it's really, really bizarre. Nighttime is gnarly, right? It's so gnarly right now, Cosmic Detective. A lot of crazy things happening. Oh my goodness. Nighttime is fun, but it's gnarly. Jenny says, Ata Marie, peaceful morning, beloveds from New Zealand. I hope I said that right. Probably not. Atamari. That's probably more correct. Thank you for the loving blessing from New Zealand, Jenny. Temple pains, feeling head tremors, vibrations. Okay, so this is something I have been having too. What's really fun is it's interesting is that the temples of our heads have a whole bunch of chakras here. Like we always know about the main 7 chakras. Those are called primary chakras, by the way. I'm just sweating. I should have turned the air conditioner on. Our heat's coming hitting in my window right here. Is that but all these chakras that we haven't typically addressed, the ones in our hands, the ones in the temples of our head, we actually have a whole conglomerate around the top of our head, just the top of our head alone, and then around this whole area and stuff. These activations of the chakras are meant to assist us. They're coming into play, like accessibility for us to use. So that's really cool. But while it's activating, it doesn't feel that great, So we end up finding that we're having lots of pressure, pain, shooting pain in some cases. I know for me, in my experience, typically I'll feel it like someone's actually a finger actually pushing in certain areas of my head. It's gotten that way over the course of a while of kind of becoming aware of what it is that I'm experiencing, and then I would jump to alarm, and so it would be more intense pain. However, when the solar flares come in, when the energy for the solar energy is coming in really strong, it does sometimes end up being very intense pain. Particularly for me is been like around the eyes as well as the third eye area. I'm having a lot of like third eye activations lately. Personally, a lot of that going on. I understood that this particular window of time right now, we're healing and working through head, neck, and the top part. Hey, it's 222. The top part of our chest, moving into the heart center. This is all the activation areas. So this also goes behind us too. So the back, the upper back area, like I'm actually noticing it right now, like the almost the wing area, activations in this area too. A lot of stuff, a lot of different activity. Also for me, I'm noticing a lot of throat stuff. Man, throat stuff's been really weird. It's been really strange. And my voice keeps changing. It's just it's not sick. Like I'm not sick. It's just there's something going on. Yvette says, "Love from England, UK. Good to see you." They do panic. Oh, I grabbed that one already. Cosmic Jenny says, 1010 niece from Osborne in New Zealand. Married her Italian partner in London yesterday, moving to Miami. Shift. Wow. Well, congratulations on the marriage. That's awesome. Yeah, happy 1010. For those of you just joining, we are expecting Elsa to try to continue to come on, but I don't know if she's going to be able to do it. She's already joined a couple of times and then disappeared. Okay, now it says I'm offline. What in the world? That's so weird. Can you guys see me and hear me? Because apparently I don't have internet. It looks like I have internet. Oh my goodness, some crazy stuff's happening right now. Well, she can join, she can. If she can't, then she'll be joining me a different time. Um, um, let's see. Good morning, says Billy. Good morning. Good to see you. Lots of pressure and releasing, says Cosmo Detective. That's right. Yeah, I've been noticing a lot of that too. And just, you know what? Going with the flow is the best thing that I've been guided to do. Just being in the moment and letting it release. Just letting it release. That it's okay. All the stuff that's coming in is just, it's not meant to stick around. We're not meant to really understand it exactly. It's just accepting that it is what it is and let it move through us so it can be released. Pam says, Michael is working through me hugely right now. Yeah, Archangel Michael's been coming around a lot. He's a very frequent visitor for a lot of us. It's fascinating, isn't it? I know there's a lot of reasons for that. He's a very strong and interesting intentional energy for the now moment that we're in. He's bringing in one of the things that I got the channeled understanding for was that those who are the most comforting for us, that help us to know that we're the safest that we are going to be coming in right in this window of time, because there's a lot of activations and stuff that we're in alignment to do, that we're set to do. And as we do these alignments, it's easier for us to do them when we feel safe, when we know that we're safe. See, it's not meant to be like an illusion of safety. It's that to show you that you're safe. And so they showed me this, like different symbols of different religious backgrounds, all, your family that have passed. A variety of different individuals are presenting themselves to show you that you're protected, that you're safe, that you're okay. And so a lot of different stuff's going on with that. So seeing Archangel Michael is really cool. Welcoming then to Miami. What a ride. Opportunity for spiritual growth. Couldn't fire yesterday. 1010 New Zealand, a little more available today. Yeah, it's interesting because you can feel the 1010 when it starts on the other side of the planet. And so typically people would think 1010 only lasts for 24 hours when it actually lasts quite a bit longer than that. And it stays in that energy after as well for a little bit too. Sometimes I feel like I may levitate. Yeah. The thing is this window of time is a period where a lot of people's gifts and abilities are coming online in ways that they hadn't expected, or anticipated, and so as they come online, you don't know, because this is my beef, is that a lot of times what people talk about with the stories that get the most views, quote unquote, and things like that, are the individuals who have crazy, big, giant, kaboom kind of stories. And those individuals don't typically share the same story as everyone else. What happens, what's more common is it comes in a little bit more gradually, and also everybody's experience looks and feels differently. Hey, I see Elsa. Hey, Elsa, welcome.
Hi, I'm
What
sorry.
happened? It's okay. Welcome. I'm glad you made it.
Google's like, "Who are you?" And I'm going, "I know who I am. It's just you don't know who I am. Let me on. This is my computer, not yours, Google. Go away."
That's funny.
Oh, so good to hear your voice.
Well, good to see you. I'm like, I hope she's okay.
Oh,
And then I saw here on Restream that we're getting an update that's you have no choice but to do it by the end of the month. So I'm like, well,
what?
is that why? Because when I came on, it said there's this guy's face popped up. Hey, I know you're busy, but I got to tell you something. And they were trying to do the overview as like a
Yeah.
video. So anyway, welcome, Elsa. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm really good. I am very glad that I could come on and speak with you. I needed to talk to you. Just, I
Yeah.
said, like said, I actually felt a bit funny coming on because I know there's a lot going on in the world. And I went, that's just how it is now. Like, it, right? And sometimes I think, oh, maybe I shouldn't go on as a sign of respect. And I went, no, I'm coming on as a sign of respect because I do. I respect all of us.
Mhm.
And I know so many people were doing things within themselves to help create better outcomes,
Mhm.
and it's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
It's so cool. People are really realizing this is a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. And even this word thing, Mila made every time now I say it's a thing, I hear little Mila's smiling face come up, as like an emoji in my head. I go, have I downloaded Mila smiliness emojis to my head? But it's true, it's a thing.
It is.
And this it's a thing is now a thing for me because I go, this is every time I say it's a thing, I'm relaying to myself that I'm a creator.
Mhm.
This is what the Indian, their culture, their history speaks of is this time. It goes out of the hands of the bloodlines and it goes into the hands of imagination creators.
Yeah.
And just that's that's what we've been talking about, Mila. That's our play dates.
Yeah.
Going back to the inner child. It was a thing back then. We
It was
just
a
didn't
thing
know it was a thing.
back That's where you can create, right? That's when you can dig in the sand and make whatever you want.
Yeah. It just by calling it stupid and silly and simple, that's how they've tried to take the power out of spirit.
Yeah.
And um, it's amazing how clever that has been. Because we listened to that.
Yeah.
I mean, most of my childhood, that was what I listened to. Don't be silly. That's make believe.
Right.
That can't be true.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I've got Mila on the other side of the world, bending spoons, shifting paper with her mom.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah. So then you have like this tree thing going on, and so you go for a walk, or someone sends you a picture of a tree, or you're sitting by a tree and you start feeling um, messages or senses or an old song or an old taste, and then you start going, where's this coming from? It's coming from the energy of the tree,
Yeah.
or the grasshopper, or the cicada, or the crystal. But that you have to allow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the separation is now, is us allowing ourselves. The separation isn't with each other. I used to think of separations, oh, it's over there, it's over here, it's, it's with man and female, it's with the children and the adults, and it's with the different cultures. It's the different bloodlines. It's not the allowing in ourselves. That's the separation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you helped me with this last year with bringing. By the way, my grandfather's lineage is Odin, because Odin's crows helped me to understand this. And Dr. Joe, everyone that's crossed my path has helped me to this point to understand that the separation wasn't with anyone else; it was within me, because they told us, and we're mankind, so we're just kind things. So we just believed that they were looking after us.
Yeah.
I have just come in to the Zoom late and started. You could have been on a whole nother subject. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just talking about what I normally talk about, Ascension symptoms and stuff. I brought up
Yeah.
my great grandmother that came in, my Swedish,
Yeah.
and she came from the line of Odin. So it's
Well, this is
fascinating
your
you brought
fair.
that up.
You got this fair way about you. It's
Yeah.
funny, this word fair, that you do. You have that Swedish. You can see it. See, she's sweet. You followed the Swedish.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
actually how I found the genealogy that led me to the ancestor of Odin, was this line. But here's the interesting part of the story. Well, I guess it's all interesting, but I'd never really considered her before. I really never thought about her. But it wasn't because I had a problem with her. She just didn't have she wasn't part of the narrative. You know, my mom didn't know her and I didn't know her, like there was it was this thing, but she didn't speak English. So my mom couldn't communicate with her. And she came here. She brought my grandmother here when my grandmother was 11, and my grandmother learned the language, but her her elders didn't, and so um when by the time that I was born, she had passed, and so I never really met her. And she called herself Gamma. I can't even say it. My tongue won't rotate that way. Gamma. And I looked it up, and it actually means great grandmother. And so I was like, oh, right on. I thought that she was telling me that was her name. Why is this significant? She's never come before, Elsa. She's never come before. I've been able to connect with spirit my whole life, almost, for more than 40 years. And now she's here, and she's the direct descendant of Odin. I just thought that was probably interesting with the trees, is why I thought to bring it up. But you probably know more. I can see you writing something. What do you got?
So to never come before is to never come before. Before.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Um,
in the forest.
and come, the comet coming is coming at its biggest and fullest than it's ever been. So never come before is they can't come before if you don't acknowledge. And this is where we're at now, because we've had so many things turned off. Even if people are getting little messages, unless they acknowledge the message from the tree can't come anymore because you haven't received the gift. So it's this is electrical. This is physics. This is if the electrical points aren't ready to receive, the electricity doesn't complete. The light globe, wow, this is a metaphor, right? The light globe won't go off because the other point isn't, it might be rusty or it might be clean, or, it might need more water or salt or something. So you have to be able to give and receive. This is not about, this is an electrical. So because maybe it's because you're attempting to say her name, even though you don't know how to say her name. Saying her name is acknowledgement. This is what a lot of the great practices would be in the scripture. This is why we go to church to recite
Mm. Mm.
certain words, so we have that outcome. Oh my gosh, she's tapped into what's going on.
Yeah.
They talked of this. Okay, so I wake up yesterday at, was it yesterday? Oh, look, it doesn't matter. I think it was yesterday. I woke up at 2 a.m. to gunfire. Like not just one, multiple. Bang, 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 like machine gun type
Holy
enrichments.
cow.
They firecrackers? And I went, it's Thursday, 2 a.m. What? It's raining. We just had a big storm. There's no cars. No one's celebrating anything. Why is there gunfire? It's always in this hotspot area where we see a lot of the craft and stuff. I went, okay, so gunfire, you want me to get up? I'll get up. Because I felt like it was like this military thing.
Uh-huh.
I connect with my friend in the UK, and she lives in a military base, an old military base that now is accommodation. And she was in the sergeant's quarters. And I was like, maybe they woke me up to be with her. Anyway, I realized that her and I could do some healing towards Milton.
Hmm.
The reason that I felt this urge with her, where she lived, had great importance. And I knew that by focusing on the drama and the devastation of Milton is not going to fix it, because you're in fear and worry.
Yeah.
You have to rise above, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not go in there. And that's how they heal with humming. When they're healing, you'll see them healing someone who has cancer, and they hum. It's not, they don't go into the fear and worry of cancer. They don't even believe in cancer. They go in and heal with humming. And
Right.
they acknowledge, like you acknowledge your grandmother, right?
Mhm.
Milton, I looked at the words and I went, what should I do? I'm going to think of smiley face. Okay, I'm going to flip the ship. So I flipped it. Milton is will ton. Will ton is will not. When you flip it, it is will not. They're stopping our will. Milton was
Huh.
will, not create, not have any eternal life force. This is will. Will is the energy that starts us here. It's the blue bang. This is the big bang, the will
Yeah.
of us. So I went, okay, well, will spin to respin will back to its origin word. Not is a spin, so spin will. So that was what my whole day was. All day yesterday, I was spin will. So it's taking the matrix going this way, and it's going and then turning it back that way. And I know other people were doing things towards this, so we turned it around. This is what your grandmother is saying to us. She's saying, Mila has never spoken to me, and our eyes have never met, really.
Yeah.
I don't think they had.
Uh-uh.
So your eyes have never met, so no pupils, yet you're able to communicate with her. This is impossible, Mila.
Isn't it?
This is not taught at school. This is impossible. This is not real. So that's great, but Mila's having a conversation with her, and I feel like we're all now tapping into Mila's great-great-grandmother, but that's impossible. But it's still happening. That's impossible. It's still happening. That's impossible. It's still happening.
Right.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got this is the separation. This is this world saying that's impossible. And you're going, yeah, it's still happening.
Right.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's
So
a
you can say it's not happening and if you want to put it in that box there for your brain, but over here we're all going, but it's happening.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And it teaches us to suspend our uh, scientific mind. You know, there's a, and I'm not speaking against any school of thought at all. However, the way that the scientific method is taught, it teaches you, wow, big giant ear ringing confirmation. Wow. Um, that's a big one. Is it teaches us to start with disbelief, and you try to, and you're disproving yourself the way that the scientific method works. And spirit tells us that if we have 2% of disbelief, the vehicle of the spirit won't flow. Like, that's what causes it not to work, is to not have belief. So if we use the scientific method, we initiate it by enlisting disbelief, and therefore it's a faulty mechanism. It's not going to flow. And so if we pull back and revisit how we do this, like you were just saying, where it just is, it's just a thing. You know, using those kinds of words takes away anyone else's control, and it just is. It's right there. You know, like, that's just it. And I cannot prove it to anyone else, and I don't care to. It doesn't matter. Eventually, though, these things do. That's what's fun, is because I don't know if it's because I have belief or what, but within time, all things become provable. If I, you know, by the time that they're proven, I don't even care anymore to prove it to the person, though. It's just that it's how it works. And this is where we are. We're in this moment. This is occurring. This woman, my great grandmother, who I'd never met, showed me that the ancient trees are still alive. They never pulled up their roots. They're the bases. That's why I brought up the tree and Odin and her, is that they're massive. It's like a city center underneath the ground. When they chop down those big, giant, tall trees, and they're still in. They never pulled the roots out, so those trees are still there. And some forests are based in just that one root system. It's really cool.
So we all come here, including the tree, and so Earth or Gaia or this planet only becomes more. Because they say we're going to run out of water, we're going to run out of trees, but the trees are all here. They're all here. They're just in another form, like your grandmother. They're all here. Where are they going to go? You're going to scoot off to another galaxy? That's great. A lot of us feel like we do come from other galaxies, but we're still here.
Yeah.
You're here. They're here. You can feel it. Does the tree care if we have scientific data proof and it's on document 663224? You say that to the dog goes, doesn't worry me, I love that tree.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's only us that, I mean, this is, excuse me, we live in the land of the black swan. And the black swan was not real. There was no black swans. So black swan was in many cultures for many years classed as the impossible. Then, however they got here, which is really starting to change my way of thinking. But however they got to the land of Oz, Australia, they get here and then there's black swans everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's black swans everywhere. We don't have white swans. I don't think we have white swans unless they've been imported. Our swans are black.
Wow.
Well, they have to be because we're upside down. Come on. But
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we're in the land of impossible. So we were literally walking in the black swan effect, like your grandmother coming through now,
Right.
and she's really making me understand, like how you're speaking about her. She's really helping me to understand that if you don't acknowledge, then there's a hint of doubt. And
Right.
this is what you see in all those nursery rhymes. The fairies, if you don't believe in them, they'll die. They
Right.
can't. They're not. Well, they're not even dying. They just stay in their land or their form. Because the word "die" doesn't mean what we think it does. It just means you. It's not there for your eyes to see. But if you can see them or hear them or feel them, they're back alive again.
Yeah.
So see how it's eternal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a much better way to live. This grief and sorrow. I have grief and sorrow too. It is hard being human, but it's also really. It can be really beautiful too.
Yeah. It can be.
Yeah.
And all things are meant to flow. If we stop the flow of something, then it's disrupted. That's why we've been talking so much about waiting for these dams to break.
Yeah.
You know,
That's us. That's that. You know who that is? That's the okay. Because this is what we talked about way back.
Mhm.
The dams breaking. Are you hearing your words? Wow. This is the dams breaking. They did not. Okay. The two moons come through. You told me about the two moons. The two moons is the moon that we have. So we always feel the moon is the mother energy, whether it's a real moon or not. It doesn't matter. The energy seems to come through on the moon. Then you have this little moon come in, which is it's the mother and the daughter energy. For so long, it's been father, son, father, son, father, son. I love how they can only bring in the mother daughter energy. Look, we'll just give them a small window because it's intense. And it's not that it's masculine and feminine against each other, it's just the energy of mother daughter is so intense.
Yeah.
They thought, well, just give them a little taste now. And I have been getting, not only from my family members, but many around the world, they're going, you know, my husband is behaving like this, my boyfriend is acting like this. And they're getting rattled from this energy because there's some force coming through.
Right. Right.
And the mothers and the daughters are bringing, I think it's here till 25th of November.
That's right.
It's the dams breaking, Mila.
Yeah.
Breaking meaning, see, breaking. So when we think breaking, we always think, oh, it's dark, it's evil. But breaking means cutting, begin something new, or breaking is literally opening your lips. That can be classed as breaking too.
Right.
Yeah,
To
I mean,
to
this is
restart.
they're called breaking wind. That's the other. That's the
Right.
other end.
And everyone does it.
Big
That's
topic. Big topic. Well, it's called venting, and
oh, right.
which is Venus, which is the two halos of us. So you have the venting here and the venting at the other end, and um, you know, if we can be as smiley when we speak from here as we are when we vent from the other end. Oh,
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying, right?
I totally do. If we can stay in a sense of humor about things and I don't know, it's so funny because when you're in your like day-to-day life, it's so easy to get caught up and make it be so important and to get emotionally invested in BS, in stuff that doesn't actually matter. And then all you need is one energy to come in, like just one somebody comes in, and then all of a sudden it's like you just forget about all the stuff that doesn't matter. You forget that, and you remember that it doesn't matter. And just like you're saying, it happens so fast. All you need, and all it is a high frequency energy. For me, it's usually someone who's passed, or some other, outside being that comes in, and then all that stuff can fall away. But sometimes it's people in our lives that touch us, that connect to us, like you, Elsa. I could be like really over invested in something that happened at the supermarket, like so stupid, it doesn't matter. And then all I need to do is to connect with Elsa, and and we get back to smiles again. And we forget why that even mattered, because it didn't. It never did. We take ourselves too seriously and we
Well,
forget to play. Go ahead.
yeah, we forget, and but we also take away the importance of everything that crossed our path as well. Like, um, not by not acknowledging that when that fly passes you, or the grasshopper, or the step you took, or the flower, or the person you spoke to at the store, by not placing that as you were on my path, you have just almost, it's like an insult
Right.
because you've not acknowledged it. So the universe goes, oh, well, they're not paying attention. Oh, so it's not that the universe stops giving, but you have to make the first act, the first step of you, not somebody else. And it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you have to be doing things for other people, but acknowledge that. Acknowledge the grandmother. Acknowledge Odin. Acknowledging Odin has shapeshifted not only my life, but so many around me. Yeah. So I'm saying goodbye to Jack because he lives at home now. Sorry, I'm so excited.
That's good.
This stuff works, Mila. It brings my son home.
Yeah.
It's healing family members. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm going to give you an example of pain now. This is how the universe shows pain to me. So we have a family member in pain, and I'm over investing, taking it too seriously. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that, and overspinning my spin onto somebody else. And
Right.
it's only because I'm actually doing it because I overcare or overlove or whatever you want to call it. Mother, wife, comes out. I just want to help, right?
Hmm.
So, and it was too much for the other. So they break my little toe. And the pain, it was on the eclipse. They break my little toe. I was screaming through the night. The shuddering of electric shocks. I was like, then I started getting mad at myself because I was thinking I am way above this. Like, not in an egoic sense, but I thought, in my way of dealing with pain and all the births and breaking my back, why is this little toe so painful?
Right.
And then I got wee all the way home. And I went, what? That's not very nice. So now I'm angry at spirit because they're messing with me. And I realized they've done a technique that the lifesavers do here is I'm not sure if it's here or overseas. So a lifesaver will go out to rescue a drowning person, and because they're in such fear, a lot of the time most people drown helping somebody
You gotta knock
drowning.
them out.
Yeah, so what they do is they either knock them out or break their little finger. And this is what they showed me. They've broken my little toe to stop the attention, me pushing all the attention, go back home. We run home. Run home. Run om. Rain om. Rule om. I'm going, as soon
Right.
as I acknowledge this, Miller, no pain.
uh,
I was like,
it makes so
right.
much sense.
So I brought it now. You've got your grandmother, and she's come through in the time of Milton, helping us to understand this importance of acknowledgement. And then the little toe, now that's a physical thing. Now the toe is still healing, but the pain isn't there.
Awesome.
So where's the pain coming from?
Right.
So
Right.
can you see, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's a thing.
It's a thing.
But
What foot is it, by the way? I gotta ask. I've
it's
wondered.
on my right, so action, and it was a little toe, and I was like, really? Wee all the way home. But it's so cute because I had to go, we're going to take you back to the nursery rhymes. We're going to take you back to the nursery of where you came from, which is the stars up there. They call it the nursery. The nursery, the Nebula nursery is where a lot of the stardust has come from. And this is a nursery. And I went, okay, I'm okay with it. And, it makes me laugh at myself and be playful with myself.
Mhm.
But, when I'm in pain and like that, like the pain, it felt like someone kept breaking my toe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's, so is this nonsense? Maybe. Is it science? No. Science, I heard someone say yesterday, science is where they do an experiment and someone else can go and do the experiment and it repeats.
Yeah.
But isn't that cloning and copying? Because
Right.
if you want it in the eyes of the creator, the slit theory, which is supposed to be science as well. So if Mila goes and does something and I go and do something and we get the same result, that's not really a creator, is it?
Right. That's replication.
That's following suit. That's
Yeah.
following form. See, I would much rather see, and this is how we've brought the kids up, is I would rather go, all right, I want everyone to go and build a mud hut or something, and then we'll give an award for the best looking one, the most practical, the one that's the driest, the funniest one, because you want to see all the outcomes, right?
Yeah. Right.
If every kid did the same, oh my God, there would be
I know.
no point.
I played with that thought experiment so many times where it's like if everyone was like me, life would suck. Like, if everyone was the same person, it would be the worst. Yeah.
So science the word science has sense in it. So it's CI of sense. So even the word science doesn't make sense to me. I just go, science, sense. And so you said science and then you said time. Now, this is the other thing I wanted to bring up because this is the thing I got from trees, because trees carry time in their form. They carry time in the way their knots work,
Yeah.
which is
Right.
Milton again, because Milton is not in it. So it has all the timelines in a tree, which you spoke of, which if you live in a city, you might actually live on one of those lines if the tree's that big, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so time, so Australia has gone into a time zone change. So we've gone to summer. That was last Sunday. America and UK are, I think, at the end of the month, not on the same days either, I don't think. I think Europe and US are different days.
Yeah. That's right.
Why?
I
Why is
know.
it this 4-week period of in the solar flares? They're talking about timeline shifts. Are you hearing all the comments everyone's saying? Everyone's saying they feel like they've had a timeline shift, or Mila sent me a message saying she felt like everyone has crossed over within themselves or something. You said it really well. I'm not saying it as well. You said
I
like
don't
they
remember what I.
rebirthed or something, or they've had complete shutdowns within themselves and then restarts.
It felt like
different
everybody
than
was
dark.
dead.
Yeah, like they died and came back again, sort of thing. And
Yeah.
I'm starting to think they know about this time in October, and they create that. So they know this. So how do you smear campaign it if you know this? Create confusion in this time frame. What have they done? They have the election. They have cyclones. Are you seeing what they're doing? They're creating distractions so that we don't acknowledge stuff. The last time we did a show, this is huge, Mila. The last time we did a show, we talked about Christmas tree and how cute it is that everyone's passing Mila's house.
Mm-hmm.
She knows. You know how she knows? This is the birth of Christ Day.
Really?
Did you know? I did not know this. I didn't. You know why I looked this up? Because I'm buying a Christmas tree.
Awesome.
Yes, which is coming. I've got two. So that's impossible. You shouldn't have two. So we've got two little Christmas trees coming. Just they're not real, but they're just the idea of the pine
Yeah.
tree, right? And so I'm thinking it's a tree thing. And then I keep hearing Oktoberfest. The Germans celebrate Oktoberfest. Why? And then I realized they say that Jesus is born on the 11th of September, the last time we did a show, when we were speaking about Christmas tree. You innately knew this.
That makes so much sense. But you're right. I didn't actually know this in a logical way. Wow.
I know, right? Because it's a thing. It didn't matter about the label of it. It didn't matter who it was. The tree called you.
Yeah. It felt like
But
the
then
most
the
random
tree.
thing to occur.
So what happens is then the tree branches off. So Mila branches off and breaks, or vents, or Venus, love, sends out love and says, I just got a Christmas tree. You should see the courier's face. So then we share it together in play. So we create a story of the event.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes acknowledgement. And now I understand such a huge day. What day is September 11, Mila?
9/11. Wow.
What are the buildings?
Twin Towers.
1-1.
Ah. And on 10/10 now.
Yeah. We're on the 10 and the 11th day. This day today comes up on my Apple Mac computer, and I was like, why have you forced? Because it won't let me get rid of it. It just comes up on my computer as like a public holiday or something.
Yep.
It's called
I got it.
Yom Kippur Day.
What do you got?
It's called Yom Kippur Day. It's a Jewish. Look, I don't know the history of any of the Jewish that I'm going to say what I've broken the words back down to. So I take off what we know it as now and I take it back. That's how I get to where I get my information. It's the day of the ewes.
Huh.
It's atonement. Your name is Mila. It's today and tomorrow, so I think it's the 10th and 11th, or 10th, 11th, 12th, is the Day of Atonement.
Whoa.
Which is what the Egyptians would do. It's a debriefing, it's a humming, it's a venting, and it's prayer going forward. It's
Right.
you attune.
Crazy.
It's like the biggest day, one of the biggest days.
Yeah. And it's fascinating that in this country here, they translate it differently. They call it World Mental Health Day.
Well, it is World Mental Health Day, because if you don't realize you're the twin towers, if you don't realize you're the two of you are only in action. And so spirit is just going crazy over here. This spirit could be walked in on.
Yeah.
It could become a host, because it doesn't have any, it doesn't now need structure, but it needs to spin in harmony with this part over here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just in chaos. When you start spinning together, you start going like this.
Right.
Whereas if you've only got one spinner, you've got a crazy one over here. So you come back to the ones. It's,
Right.
you know, people are going to go, that's just silly. That's a coincidence. I'm going, yeah. I've got goose pimples all up and down my arms talking to you
Right.
about this.
People call them truth bumps. I've known people who call goosebumps like that truth bumps when you're telling the truth. Yeah.
But I didn't know it was Mental Health Day. So, well, we can't have them all acknowledging on this day. We'll have to give it another stamp. You can see them at the office, right, with the form.
Yep.
Stamp. It's Mental Health Day. So on today you get messages through, and they'll go, "Oh, you're probably getting messages because it's Mental Health Day."
Right.
It says it on the form here. See?
Here's the form.
It's got a stamp.
It's got a stamp.
It's official.
It's true though, man. Everything that you and today's the first day of the thinning of the veil, the annual thinning of the veil. I forgot about that one too. It's between the 10-10 portal and the 11-11 portal. That's why Hallows Eve, Halloween happens. It's the annual thinning of the veil, and the veil, as you know, is already like a whoopee, like the security blanket that kids carry around, and they end up being all these holes, and it's really see-through and stuff.
It's smelly.
It's smelly.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. But this is okay. So this lines up with this comet. Mm-hmm. So this comet is coming in closer. They say, I'm hoping it's a comet. It might be an asteroid or a meteor. You look, again, labels, it doesn't matter. You get what I'm talking about. It's at last. Atlas. Yep. It's A3.
Yeah.
And it comes through in this time frame of those dates you said. The two moons are here till the 25th of November. Yep. It's this time frame again.
Yep.
So if you can remote view this all happening on this era or these dates or this year coming through, what are you going to do? I'm going to smear campaign it so I can keep the system going.
Right.
Because then that will make them look crazy, and and bring that form back out again and stick it up on the wall, and we'll celebrate Mental Health Day.
Right. Yeah, and make it, you put a spin
on it. We'll make that a thing.
Yeah. Exactly. No, you're right. That's exactly correct. And I've noticed an uptick in harassing spam calls from people encouraging health, going to clinics and stuff like that. I have no reason to be connected to these individuals, and they're like, we don't have any evidence that you've gone to a doctor for the past year, and it's like, they just, what? I have no reason to. I'm not connected to any government group. I don't have any reason to have to do any kind of, yet they're still harassing. It's crazy, and it's like, they got to do the checkup, what if we got to do early detection? And that's my calling. This is for early detection of diseases and stuff, is what they're trying to teach. But just like and I always think of the story you told me, Elsa. You got an Aboriginal guy, Bushman, and you got, the witch doctor, right? Could you tell that story again? Because I think that would benefit people to hear it again.
Well, so you have, well, this is also the story of blue.
Yeah.
So it's also being able to see it as well. And this is the same thing. This is what today is about. This is called atonement. It's the seeing of one. It's the Twin Tower era. Like this, they know this stuff. They look. These are big topics, but it's time for these big topics. And many are realizing that what's going on in the skies is what it is. And it isn't what they said it was. And all the crazy ones are now not so crazy, but they're still crazy because, look, we've still got the piece of paper and it is Mental Health Day.
Right. It's mental health day after
So go
all.
back to school and be quiet. But it is time to release the time program of holding Phi Me time and understand the two of you and get through this. So to understand the two of you, so the witch doctor says to the Westerner, "Oh, you're going to die tomorrow because I can see great spirits around you." And the Westerner goes, "Huh?" And then he looks to the other guy and he goes, "Oh, you're similar. You're going to die tomorrow because you've got great spirits around you." And so the next day he gets ill and he passes. The Westerner doesn't, because the Westerner's like, "Huh? I don't even know what he's talking about. I didn't even understand him. And did you see what he was wearing? Like, this, yeah, because he's above him." Then they just take the same two to a medical practitioner where they've got white suits on. It's very clinical. Lots of telephones, lots of forms, lots of forms, lots of forms, lots of certificates back here. Come on. The native man, he doesn't know what all the forms mean. He thought they were just decoration because
Right.
he can't read what it says anyway. He doesn't know what a stamp is.
Right.
He doesn't even know why everyone's dressed in white, but he's obviously looking very different. And then you have the other man. The doctor says, "I'm very sorry, sir. You have this great illness." Starts with C. I'm not even going to say it.
Mhm.
And you haven't got much longer to live. You should go home and say goodbye to your family. And he says, "It's a very rare case. You're a special condition. We might have to get a specialist to see you." And he goes, "I'm special. I'm special.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a special disease." And they're so happy that they've got a special disease. They say the same thing to the native, and the native goes, "Oh, thank you. Yeah, thanks." And he leaves. And they leave, and the other man, the Westerner, he goes and says goodbye to his family and starts preparing his will.
Right.
And the native man goes back and goes and hunts and gathers and catches some bugs, and because he didn't understand. He didn't even understand the words.
Right.
But you have a great illness, you're going to die. Oh, but I didn't understand what he was saying. So it turned the illness off because he didn't acknowledge it. This comes back to Mila's grandmother.
Mhm.
The great dams are breaking not only around the world in form, but in spirit as well. And they're breaking and coming through to the ones that are listening,
Right.
to the daughters and sons that hear,
You're right.
that hear, that
Right.
are here. Not only here, but they're here. If you can hear, you can hear.
Right. I like that.
So this story of a belief system, belief is where it's our gut feeling.
Right.
And it comes from, not form.
Right.
From and form is a trick it's the middle words. Then they do this a lot with language where they flip the words around. So, or it's tool. So they flip your tool around so you can't use it to its fullest. You're only using half of it.
Right.
So you're only using half, like if you had to describe it in from and form, you're only using half the word, half the power of it, half the spell, because you've flipped it and you're not using the true spin of you.
Right. It does. It's like it delays it or it slows it. It does something. Even
Anchored.
those jokes that they do, they're like, if you could read this and if you keep all the letters at the front and the back, the right spot, then people can translate it with their brain. But you notice that when you're doing it, it's a different thing. Your body's doing something different when it's reading it, when it's mixed up in the middle.
Yeah. Well, see, so again, Mila's background, you start using things like this or those drawings where you see multiple images or staring into a forest, and then you start seeing different forms.
Yeah.
And your eyes start changing perspective levels. Like Maddie said, you keep practicing this, you're going to get another cone.
Right.
Now, that's like the cosmos's way going, oh, here's your certificate, here's the stamp, you get another cone.
There it is.
When I think of Maddie saying you get another cone, I think of it, I have a vision as a child as getting, oh, you get a second ice cream. You're not usually allowed to, but it's not, they don't usually, you're only usually allowed to have one ice cream,
Right.
but here, you can have another one because we don't play by the rules here. You can have another cone. You can have another treat.
Right.
And it doesn't stop there. So I believe, like what Maddie said, is you will get another cone, but you'll also get another cone. The more acknowledgement you make, the more practicing you do with this of you and how you do it, you'll keep getting little treats as you go along. So this becomes the arcing of us, the giver, the receiver, the giver, the receiver.
Right.
And this is what's happening. Mila talked about Mount Doom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm walking, the dog's going, mood. Get out of that mood you're in. Get out of the mood you're in. Get out of the mood. I'm in mood. Mood. Get out of the mood I'm in. Get out. So they're saying, so mood and doom is flipped.
Right.
Mood is sense. So I got out of the mood of pain, had a laugh at myself, and I got into the mood of being a creator. So the pain leaves. So it's either doom, which is screaming sore toe, or we run home.
Right.
I know it sounds silly, right? But so the other acknowledgement I'm bringing to this is, how is Mila tapping into Mount Doom and I'm tapping into mood, and we're not communicating?
Right.
And we're talking within a period of an hour or two, Mila, on the other side of the planet. If that is what it is, I don't know. It could be. It could be just straight across. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It could be a paddle boat away.
But it's working.
And for those of you who don't know, this message about Mountain Doom was specific to Elsa. This was meant for you, Elsa. Like it was a dream.
It was a dream, right?
Yeah. I had taken a late afternoon nap and had some crazy dream go down. And Elsa came in the dream a couple of different times, but I was trying to message her, communicate with her. And then she came on Facebook and she checked in as like in Mount Doom, and she was going to get rid of some earrings. Like the Lord of the Rings concept of they throw the ring in but it had to do with earrings. I'm pretty sure it was earrings. I have wrote it down. I have to go back to be sure. But yeah, and it was Mountain Doom, and this was a dream I was having simultaneously, and then I wrote it to you as soon as I woke up. So this was it's the same time. We just didn't we weren't talking to each other. This was happening.
Yeah. And then I come back in and I see Mila's dream and I go, that was my walk, my whole walk back. And so I go all the way to Odin and the blue shiver tree. And I come back and I was like, so she's just helped me understand mood and sense.
Wow.
And I look, you know, gosh, Elsa's talking in riddles again and things, but these words help me how to be when I'm walking around or behaving or acting, or how to put a video together to put out. Like, it changes me.
Yeah.
Change is constant, and change is sense. This is so the more we understand these words, the more abundance will come, because it's money, it's sense, it's abundance.
Right. It is.
Yeah. So a lot of people doing these works, Mila, and I know they're financially not well. They are well. They are filled, they are a well full of all their ions, and they are well because they understand the ones of themselves. So they are actually in fullness of themselves.
Yeah.
And keep going. It will spin around this.
Right.
This struggling with the finances and things has been, it's deliberate.
Yes.
Because they know that you're the ones. They're not going to give you they keep it in the bloodline. So how do we spin this around as great creators that we are, so that we have ease and grace in the world that we're in? You have to keep letting go of that. So
Right.
if you keep playing the old way, you're keeping yourself from the gifts.
Yeah.
And this is how I know, because it just doesn't, that, like you said, Neil, you know, it doesn't work, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So you just keep going this way. I mean, Neil packed up her whole life and put it into a couple of bags and went, okay, I'm just going to go here and do some great works here. And then I don't know where I'm going. I mean, I know where I'm kind of heading, but I don't know when or how. And then it just happened.
Effortless.
When it was ready.
Yeah. And Spirit kept saying it will be effortless and effortlessly, and this will be effortless, and when it is in alignment with Spirit, it is effortless, and the trick is to release the things that aren't serving you, which for us were these false anchors, these physical belongings, these false anchors. You guys would, I mean, think about it. So many people are really kind of stuck where they are because of the belongings that they have and the dependency on them. I'm not telling people that they shouldn't have anything, but I've become very fascinated with this topic, Elsa, because
Alimuts.
what was that?
I think they call them alimuts, amulets. They hold the energy. Yeah, because crystal is Christ stalled, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have I mean, I love Harry Potter, all these little
Yeah,
creatures and magical beings, and they would have things that would hold the energy. And this is a thing we practiced in feng shui before Harry Potter even was about. And so everything holds energy.
pardon me.
So like Mila gave up everything. You surrendered everything, and you don't have to do this, but I'm just saying she gave up everything for a complete new way. But you were ready for that. I always say, you can just start with that. We've spoken about this, that drawer in your kitchen,
Yep.
and you
Yep.
pick up each item and hold it in your hand. Do I need this? Do I not need it? Do I need this? Do I not need it? Yes or no, or unsure pile.
Right.
But do that through many things in your home, and you'll realize that something is holding energy. Like yesterday, we found a pillow that Gemma said, I don't like the energy of this pillow, who it was around at the time. It holds all those memories for me. She said, Mum, can you get rid of it? Can you burn it? Yesterday. And I said, and it's funny because you think nothing of that, but I've seen huge shifts in her since it went.
Wow. Yeah.
Because it was holding an energy. And so every time she would pass that pillow, that would trigger that insight or remote viewing or memory or history. So it anchors us in that or causes dis-ease. Now the pillow's gone.
It sounded like you said pillar too, so that's a whole different.
Pillow. Pillow. Oh, it is. It's got that word in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, on the pillars of the ones, and it's the matrix, and it's the
Pill.
one.
Pill. Take a pill for everything. We're pill R's.
The
Pill
pill
R's are
mentality
pill
people.
ones. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's a.
Well,
Go ahead.
breaking it, keep breaking it. Oh, she does it. She's a thing now. Pillar is pi, the power. So this is tree again. So power
Mm-hmm.
of the ones.
Right.
Power seeing ones. The other thing they called today was trefoil.
Trefoil.
Trefoil is I didn't know what a trefoil was. It's the Newgrange. It's the clover,
Oh, okay.
which can also be a club.
Hmm.
And it's quite interesting, all the symbols, because these are in the playing cards as well, these symbols.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the symbols, it's Trinity as well, because it's the club, it's Newgrange.
Right.
The solar flare we just had was 777.
Yeah.
So 777 is volume, velocity, and another V word. Volume, velocity. It's the three, but it's also Father, Son, Spirit, and
Yep.
it's not God. God's in the middle, so God's all of us. It's Father, Son, Spirit, and the way I have worked spirit is the female energy. It's the mother. It's the holy one, literally, because she has another hole for the star seeds to come through.
Right.
So I always tease. The kids think it's disgusting. I go, I'm the holy one because I've got the extra hole. Yeah, it doesn't go down well with girls.
Well, with your kids, they used to call me in school the Holy Jean Queen because I intentionally made holes all over my jeans before it became a thing. It then became a thing, a popular fad after that. But
Yeah, because you made it a thing.
I guess I don't know. There's a lot of coincidence about random things that I do fashion wise that eventually other people do that I've always wondered. Is it? I didn't do that, did I? Kind of
Yeah.
thing. Because I
Well,
started doing it before the grunge thing happened in Seattle and living in Seattle. And then all of a sudden the grunge thing happened. And it's like, they're copying my wardrobe.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
So you got Versace going, what's that Mila doing now? She's doing holes in the jeans. Or bringing grunge. We know it's a thing, right? So it
It's
works.
a thing.
Well, this Christmas tree thing is so I like said in the last show, we for 3 years while Jack was here, we just all of us just turned Christmas off.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can you turn Christmas off? That's impossible. Christmas is Christmas. Well, Christmas isn't Christmas because Christmas, as I found out this week from Spirit and Mila's family lineage, it's the 11th of September. It's not even the right day.
That makes so much sense.
Why are they muddling us up? Okay, so you have August. August is AU gust, so gold gust
Hmm.
or gator gust, which was dragon everywhere, right? Then you go into, now let's play with the words, right? So now you go into, so August, September, October, November, December. They're the fours. Mila, the fours. They've got the last ending.
Yep.
The fours. You've always spoken how they've changed the calendars. We all know the calendars are kind of like, I'm still in shock that 11th of September is that day.
Yeah. Yeah. That is really a big one. I did not know that.
Because as a kid, that was like your whole year was geared up for the 25th of December as a
Yeah.
kid. Easter was annoying because it kept changing. But the
Yeah.
25th of December, you were like, that's a stamp.
Right. That's a
And
stamp.
that has to be a good day, right? And most times for me as a child, I was disappointed on that day
Yeah.
because I was
Yeah.
like, well, that's not what I wanted. I wanted, this want.
Right.
Why isn't Santa listening to me? I wrote it on this list. Maybe I didn't. I had to stamp it. I should have stamped
They
it.
just stamped it.
I was a good kid. Oh, you probably weren't good enough. That's why you didn't get that.
Right. Right. Oh, and then
Really?
all of
That's
that.
not. Oh, give me. Come on. So these dates. So you have September, October, November, December. They're the fours. We keep this thing of the fours has come up through a picture that Mila posted, and she said the fours are coming through sun.
Mhm.
The fours are coming through sun. Now, this is a message I got from Mila's pictures she posted when you would have been two to four, maybe, Mila, were those pictures? They were her birthday pictures, or they were fake birthdays.
4. Yeah.
They were the fours. And, I can see those pictures clearly in my head of you, Mila, as so this is Mila as this. So we're going collapsing time and going back to that moment and acknowledging that moment. It's the fours coming through, like that. This time frame. This time frame in many cultures is the halcyon days as well in there.
What's it called? A Hausian?
Uh, it's connected to the Pleiades, where the kingfisher bird comes in the calm of the storm.
Yeah.
It's about the seven sisters.
Yeah.
So this crosses over many cultures. This is Aboriginal culture in Australia, or Indigenous. I forget all the names that they like to be called here. So
Mhm.
I have great respect for all their stories. Their stories are.
Yeah.
They don't call it dream time, because time to them is. So if you said time to a native Indigenous, they don't believe in future, past, present they believe it's all one. So they don't call it dream. If you call it dream time, you're instantly, if I hear that, I go, oh, then they don't know the full version, because they don't call it dream time, they call it dreaming, because it's continually going.
Right.
The Indigenous of Australia believe in Mu, which is the black between the stars. So their culture reads the black and the star. So they read the space between the stars is just as important to them as where the stars are.
Right.
They call it Mu. Same again, crossing over all these languages, all these cultures. It's magical. It's meant to be a magical time now. This is a magical time now. They create all this distraction for us. Yeah. So, especially with time, so that we're so busy getting distracted that we don't see all this.
Yeah. Very intentionally so. I mean, we've had this conversation before, just briefly. Let's go over it really quickly. There's 13 months, 28 days. One of those months, there's an extra, or as well as those 13 months, there's an extra day. That's the first of the year. The spring is the first of the year, right? You can find it in the months the way that they're written. Sept means 7. Oct means 8. Nov is 9. Dec is 10, so on and so forth. And if you count this way, you'll find that the first of the year is the end of March / the beginning of April, somewhere in there. If you follow this, then you'll also see, wherever Easter is, if that's a lunar holiday. It's based on when. That's why it's a different day every year. Easter is, it will fall on the first Sunday after the full moon in spring, and so that's the one you can follow and see when the real day is, or whatever, or where we are for real. Then they throw in, so they changed our calendar. April Fools exists because the hillbillies, the people who were in the mountains that were still celebrating the first of the year on April 1st, which was April 1st back then. Who knows when that really is now? They would be vandalized by the henchmen of the new calendar system people. They'd come and they'd beat them up and they'd destroy their house, and now they call them April Fools, and so that was where that came from. Then they started to change time around. Our clock started to get changed. Like Elsa and I are in different time zones already, and then they throw in daylight saving, and they explain it by saying, "But it helps the farmer." It never helps anybody. It's intentional confusion. And then the last part about that, I just want to add in there. This is just I'm just highlighting what Elsa already brought up for those of you who just didn't know this background. And then lastly, I wanted to throw this one last thing. I actually discovered the reason holidays existed because of Christmas. I didn't like Christmas. I saw a lot of comments about this too. A lot of people are commenting, just like what Elsa was saying too. Christmas never worked out. Christmas was always a feel bad holiday. You always were meant to have an expectation, and expectation is what? It's a premeditated resentment. That's what an expectation is, and then everybody has all upset. If you have a dysfunctional family, especially like mine, it's going to be a violent experience. People go to the hospital and to jail every Christmas. It's just a thing. And so I asked Spirit about it, and Spirit pointed to me that it worked really well to distract people from the energy of the solstice, calling Christmas Christmas. There is an important day that's happening there between the 21st and the 24th. Those are really strong energy days. And if everybody's concerned about greed and making sure they can over purchase. It's enough stuff to make sure everybody has more stuff, and the stuff doesn't even really isn't even all that great, and it's because it's just stuff. um, then people can be distracted from the power of the energy of that day. And so if you look at any holiday, then you can actually see that it's a powerful day. They put it there on purpose. That was a lot. I could see you had some things you wanted to say. Go ahead.
Well, this is so. So you hear those words for the first time, maybe some of you, and then you get the. I hear Mila say it, and I can see myself, versions of myself, get the whole game that we were playing and throw it upside down and go, well, that's stupid because now everything's a mess. So now I've got to put it all back together.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens when you hit, like Dr. Joe says, rock bottom.
Yeah.
Or when you have a dark night of the soul, you kind of have to drop it all or allow it and then come back and put it all back together. There was a version, I don't know how this realm works, but there was a version where they let the peasants go crazy in this time frame, and they were allowed to rape, pillage, steal, and feast. But the slaves or the peasants after that, they were allowed to have 10 days of it. I was like, really? So that's the same time frame as the holidays that we have here in Australia? I was like, wow. It is a distraction for the solstice. This Pleiades Halcyon Day, the solstice is of great importance to many cultures.
Yeah.
On both sides of whatever planet we're on. Plan ET. I love this. Plan ET. The planet is okay. We are okay. We just have to now remember.
Yeah.
And by you hearing Mila meeting her ancient family through spirit, you can see how it's helping her get through her day to day. She's helping us understand language, but she's not only helping Mila, by Mila venting and sharing and breaking the bread, breaking the voice, breaking the tell with us, the story. It's helping me understand about other cultures. And so it fills my creative energy, it fills others' creative energy, and we all go off and be creators. We come back again and we go, you'll never guess.
Right.
It's a thing. This happened. And then this happened and this happened. And you go, and then you build on it. And this is how Earth grows. She gets meteors coming past and more information comes through. She doesn't go, all right, it's Christmas again, 25th of December. Let's all get out the Christmas tree. And it's not like that. It says these dates are whole. If the hurrah, the tree of commandments, this tree, 10 commandments, the hurrah tree, hurrah, it's hooray, hurrah, it's a rejoice. The tree, the 10 commandments, when you break down the words, holy day is when you look after the sick and the young. Holy days are meant to be every day, not on holy days are supposed to be every day.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're whole.
Right.
If you're not a holy, what are you? You're just leaking nothing. It's just you're empty. You're fully having to fill yourself up with wants.
Right.
If you're holy, you're whole.
Right.
And then you realize you've got this, right? So this is what Odin's crows do. So Odin's crows is the target, which is so Odin's crows are, there's one crow at home, he's the dot, and then the other crow goes up and circles above and sees the dot. So this is target. So this crosses over physics, everything, stars, astrology, Muslims, Egyptians. So once you realize the dot and the circle, that's you. You're the ones.
Right.
And it depends on the point of perspective, how it looks, like Mila's background. So you realize then when you're these ones, this one's spinning and this one, spirit's always spinning.
Right.
And your body's always spinning because you're all the cells. So now if you can get them spinning together, see how you become a torus?
Right.
Taurus is a moo. Horus, Taurus, Taurus, Ta-you is tree. Mila, it's a tree thing.
It's a tree thing.
It's Ta-you. That's Ta-you is Ta-use, which comes back to Ba, Ma, Ta, use, sheep, shepherd. I heard Dr. Joe posted a brilliant man called Terence, and I've forgotten his last name. But he speaks such great words of wisdom. Sometimes they're very hard to swallow, these words, he says. But he said what the quickening process is and the awakening process is the merging of all.
Yeah.
And it will merge everything together, and it only becomes more and more and more.
McKenna.
Yeah.
That's
and
Dr.
I
Joe's
can't remember. Yeah, Dr. Joe. Thank you, Dr. Joe, for that. He just posts at the right moment. He's brilliant like that. He's like Mila. I go, really? Right, you had to post it then? How did he know that? Anyway, he posted up another picture of a red cormorant on one of the buildings where he lives in Liverpool. And that's great as well. That's they call him a sea raven, and they used to tie the cormorant down, because they were worried that it would wreck the river banks, which is, you were talking about breaking the dams. When you look at this statue that Dr. Joe posted, they've flashed a red light on it, and they've tied it down. I'm like, why are they flashing this up now?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's because of the comet.
Right.
Because they know that when you break down the word of cormorant, it has to do with comet. So, but
wow.
they don't want the dams break. These words you say, Mila, are connecting not with just my information and the ET information and the alien and the Fae. It's connecting way back. It's connecting with Dr. Joe. See how it's like this thing that Terence said? It's all collapsing in together. It's not collapsing as in it's dying. It's collapsing, and
it's joining.
It is a collapse. It's collapsing in. It's been fragmented all over the place, and now it's collapsing in. It's not a dooms. It's a mood. You just got to spin it round. You got to flip the ship. This flip the ship is what Mila said. She said she had great foresight. She said it's when seeing the sea as the stars. Is that what you said? The stars as the sea as the stars.
Yeah. The introverted universe is, you realize, it's backwards. They're both the same, and they're backwards.
Yeah. So it's Taurus. It's Horus. It's horizon. Her eyes in. What's that?
Oh, you guys can't see it. So why won't it do it? It's really annoying. Okay, well, we are in a really intense energy bump right now. KP level 8, severe G4 geomagnetic storm in progress at this time. In fact, it looks like this. Yeah, it's it's pushing, it's getting close enough that it may end up being a G5 based on these levels. Like if I show it sideways, you can kind of see
There it
that
is.
red line that's spiking up right there. Oh, hey, look, there you go. You can see it. There you go. You see that?
Whoa. So
Yeah,
how is
dude.
so I'm showing our family the solar flares and the the magnetics coming to Earth. And the kids are saying on TikTok, Mum, how you said all the car batteries last year weren't working because of the solar flares? It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Because TikTok said it is, and I'm going. So,
Oh,
I've,
because TikTok says it. Now it's real.
so that's because I've got lots of teenagers, so they're going, Mum, you know how we call you the crazy lady? Well, you're still crazy, but it's a thing now. So we, good work. And they pat me on the head because they're all taller than me. Like,
That's
it's
funny.
funny. It is. It's funny. I have to laugh at myself because, again, it's not the I told you so coming through. It's just fun that they're getting it
Yeah.
because it's a thing. It's working. It's a thing. It's working. The solar flares. It's a thing. It's working. The cyclone drops down a few notches. If it was a natural cyclone, it probably would have eventuated.
Yeah.
This was not natural. It had a lot of interference, and they showed us all you could clearly see all the interference. They want us to start waking up. Whether it's the good guys or bad guys, I seriously don't know.
Ooh,
They want us to
that's the
wake up.
comet. That's the
What?
comet.
Oh, look at him. He's so happy. He's going at last.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
He's
let's
so
play it.
cute. Uh, I just, what? I just love this comet because he's like the whale. To me, he's like the whales coming in closer. He's
Yeah.
like it, or the birds or the cricket when you notice them. They get so excited. They come down and spin more in front of you.
It's
And
big.
this is how I feel when I see others.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I love that it's like got that, it has that solar spirit energy.
Yeah,
The solar beings that come in, they're so happy and so playful. They're like the little short Pleiadians, like really happy little kid ones. That's what
yeah.
they feel like to me. Like they're so okay. Before I forget to say this, guys, pretty much everybody is can has the potential of getting some type of um northern lights tonight.
Wow.
So if you are not, I was just looking at the graph. This is it's not a very good prediction, and it's also you can't see it. I don't know how. I'm trying to figure out how to make this site share my stuff. It says I can share screen, and then no one sees what I share, but I'll figure it out. Anyway, um, so if you are in Texas, for instance, that's really south, right? If you look at the in the north tonight, you'll see at least a red hue in the sky. Like wherever you are, if you have a clear night, I encourage you to look north. If you're far enough north, you probably can just look up. You know what I mean? But some really cool, pretty stuff going on. Um, I've been expecting this to happen. I thought it was going to be about 3 o'clock, and so it's 3:56, and so it's pretty close to when it was going to occur. But I'm sorry, I just hijacked everything you were saying because of what was happening right now. Um, I made a mental note about something, Elsa, and it's totally off topic. Do you mind if I go someplace? Chef Deb asked a question earlier, and I was like, man, that's a good. She asked if you would please break down the word nonsense because we had used that word a couple of times, and then you would mention sense. And you're so good at doing that.
Okay, so nonsense comes back to science. There's no coinkydinks. There's never coinkydinks. So I had a whole bunch of other words. Like, okay. So nonsense is nonsense is. I think it has something to do with the highest sense. So nonsense is stupid, spirit, simple, all those words. Waste. Waste is our center where we enter. They've called waste. This is not a nice word. They've tried to make waste rubbish. Rubbish is rubbish. Okay, now we go back to sewage. Sea age. Sea memory of age. Sewerage. This is weird. So on the thing with the mood, people get moody if they can't go to the bathroom, if they're constipated, right? This is where the mood doom thing comes from. I'm walking and I'm thinking about it. And I'm thinking about how with sewage you keep... The kids go, why do you always have to talk about shit, Mum? But, sorry. It's a big thing. A lot of these sacred sites have sewage plants near them. So I'm just bringing it up, right? So sewage. So sewage is you take a seed. So you eat a wild raspberry. I eat the raspberry and it's got seeds in it. So then I go to the royal throne and flush and it goes into a holding tank which kills the seed. A holding tank, a cell that kills the seed. So then the seed goes out, but it can't germinate because it's been diseased or polluted. So I've received something, then I gift it, but then it can't because we're holding on to it.
Right.
See, the way nature works is everywhere would be Babylon if it was nature, because everyone would be seeding everywhere. So everywhere would be trees. What do they do on freeways? They plant only certain plants.
Right.
Because we don't want the wildlife coming on the road. I know, of course, you don't want the wildlife coming on the road, but you've just taken out a whole forest that had fruit and plants and berries, and most of the animals they get rid of are the seed droppers.
Right.
That grow rainforests. It's about us bringing the seed, the sewage, so the sense of that plant can grow to be the full version of itself. It's a give and receive. So the nonsense is a great word if you understand this. But it's also an anchor if it's this. So see how by being the shepherd of you, so you have to rise above the reptilian part of your brain and rise above all the anchors and come up and be the pillar of you and use it as a shaft.
Yeah.
And serve yourself the information. Or actually not even serve yourself, it just comes in. So from, not form.
Right.
So if I'm Elsa, how I was trained at school, I would only be this version of myself. So nonsense would be, don't listen to that. It's silly.
Right.
But nonsense now means spirit. Nonsense is to be one of the noble gases. Thanks to Dr. Joe, help me understand this. Being a noble gas is argon. We are in the year of argon. Argon is dragon. Argon is the green genie. The green genie is also a green gas, which is also absinthe, which is wormwood. I'm laughing because wormwood's the biggest. So now we're going into ancient alien DNA. See how this is so layered? it's not us against these guys in us either. It's not us against the parasites and viruses. It's just they've served us to a certain point. They had to get us to the furthest point away from us, and it is nonsense. But you have to see it from this perspective. If you're only seeing it from this perspective, this will all be gibber jab. It'll
Right.
be like that. Those guys going to the different doctors, the witch doctor or the
Right.
yeah. So yeah, I'm spinning around a bit, but it will all, like Terence McKenna says, it all sort of jumbles back in. So you have memory. Memory is
Memory.
mammary glands, yeah. So it's M's, but memory is a vision from just you, right? History is a vision from that. So memory is a vision from this. Then you have story, could be either or, bringing forward, and then a story is a layer. Then you have second story, third story. So you build on a story.
Right.
See how that they're using the oars and they're using the path to bring it through. So you have memory, history, story. These are all memory can be kept within and never shared as well, though.
Right.
And the same with history, and the same with story. So you have to vent them.
Yes.
Then you have to realize who's venting what, where is it venting from, do they have an agenda, is it coming from spirit, is it coming from conditional or unconditional. I mean, this is how we've taught our family to go. When I'm speaking to someone, if when you're communicating with another, so you come to the store and you're communicating, if there's a condition attached to the conversation, they're not this.
Right.
So it's not that they're separate from me, they're separate in themselves.
Yeah.
See, I can see them in there. I can see both of them in there.
Exactly.
And I know you
The
see it
irony
too.
of it, right?
Yeah, you see the pillars. Oh, this is so good, this word, Miller. Pillars. And September 11 and this is day of Christ.
Yeah.
So Christmas is nonsense now to me.
Yeah.
But Christmas is nonsense to me because Christmas is about spirit. It's Christ cross. Cross was a big deal for Miller and I because we were getting this mark for a lot. And the masses.
Yeah.
Christ crosses the masses. This family member who nearly could have gone the other way or crossed over, he went to a crisis moment. Now, in a crisis moment, most of us panic and hand over our power.
Right.
Instead of doing that in a crisis moment and going, hang on a second, calm down, live on the day, don't project forward or live in the memory, just go in this. You take that power and that instead of being on your deathbed, you take that knowledge and you start spinning it for yourself. This family member is having profound stuff happen.
Yeah.
Like surreal, superhuman sort of stuff happening. Like I can't get into it just yet because it's still going on, but I'm just saying it's this crisis moments they don't want us to have. They want us to give it away.
Yeah.
And having these crisis moments within us and using it as a tool and the energy.
Yeah.
You make you build the energy in you. And this is what your grandmother is saying to me, Mila. You've taken the cyclone, you've spun it around, and you've become the true creators that you all are. Well done. We'll downgrade it to 2.
Right.
Yes, there'll be some drama. Yes, there'll be the leftover, but yes, there'll be stuff to clean up. But you did this. Here's a solar flare, and look, the comet's really excited too. He's going to fly by. He's doing a flyby. Isn't that what they did in Top Gun when they were excited? They do a flyby. They go, there he is again. Look, he's so happy. And the whales are coming closer, and then something else will come around on alignment, and then we'll do it again. And we're building the power within us so that we can go on and create this new way of the communities and the world to be.
Right.
Not from there, though.
No.
From the pill.
That's
the pillars.
Right.
So now when someone says take a pill, you go, yeah, I'm going to be the pillar of me. I'm going to take a pill. I'm going to take the one of me. Right. Isn't that a saying when you're being crazy? Take a pill. So you got to take when you crazy.
Take a chill pill. Take 10. They're small. That was the big joke in the 90s. I remember we used to hear it all the time.
But if you understand the language, take a pill of your. Understand the ones of you.
Yeah. There's a phrase that Spirit gave me too called pill mentality. And I've been using it lately, but I still haven't heard it. So what the pill mentality is there's been a taught behavior embedded in society to teach immediate gratification, immediate results. And when they're not actually possible, where most of the pills that people have taken, and I'm not saying I mean, this is my own experience, is it's covering up a symptom rather than treating it.
Yeah.
And so it's not even actually immediate gratification after all. However, it's taught this to a collective group of individuals incarnated here now, which has then instilled or created this pill mentality of all things in their life, expecting immediate results. And like you wanting someone else to do the awakening for them when the awakening is what it helps you to be awake. It can't be done for you.
Yeah, can't you get me a soft? I just want the soft version of the awakening. Thank you.
Right.
I just want it. Have you got a diet version of that?
Diet version.
So what you made me realize then, I just saw someone having a pill. So you put your hand out, like very Matrix, right? The whole pill thing.
Right.
It's like giving berries.
Yeah.
They're doing things so that we understand it as like, okay, you have the raspberries. This will give you vitamin C, vitamin K, and it'll help clean you out. Like the berries, it's like giving a berry. See how symbolic they do these things? So by this word pill, ill, well, it's the same. It's hell, halo. It's, again, the vents of us. Events of us. Events of us. I hear the words and I go, it can't be that. Like with mood and a cow, and I got cows.
Right.
And so it becomes so nonsense. It becomes so nonsense.
Yeah.
But then you go, how clever it's made this, right? So that you instantly turn it off.
Pillow. Thank you, Janet. Jeanette just said, get your pillow and take a nap. Pillow.
Pillow. It is.
Go back to sleep.
Pillow. So, yeah, so go back to sleep is to reset. But go back to sleep is said in a sort of it's the same as take a pill, right?
Yeah.
So when you now understand that, when they're saying go take a sleep, they're saying go reset.
Right. Right.
Go reset.
Which
Go
is all
reset.
that's what we're doing right now is we're resetting. That's why it's felt like it did, didn't it? Like recently, it felt like all of a sudden everybody was gone. Like it was so unpeopley,
Yeah.
the
I even
peopliness.
felt like the crickets were gone. I couldn't even, it was, we've had no cars on the road, nothing,
Yeah,
nothing. Like, because our road's quite busy, no cars. I kept saying to Richard, where is everyone?
right.
Even the birds were quiet. It's like everyone's like, I've got to go deep.
Yeah, you're right that the animals, because I've that's not why they come, but I now feed them. They
Yeah.
come around along, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I got a snack for you. Now they kind of anticipate it. But I've had scraps going sour on the counter waiting for these animals to show up because they just stopped coming. Everybody stopped coming except for the frogs. The frogs will just
Yeah.
against my window while I'm, whatever room I'm in. But it's interesting.
Yeah. It's going to, I see Mila's Christmas tree and all the critters. But you got ETs, ghosts, then you got squirrels. You got the dog comes out from behind, there's a stray cat hanging off the top. And you come out, you two are feeding them all. Yeah, but
Look at
it did. It
everybody.
went really, it did. It went really quiet. It went really
Yeah.
quiet, and when it went really quiet, uh, I have to share something. I don't know why I have to share it. I hope it's not too personal for this other person, but I have to share it because I want to share how great this is. So we talked about the timeline thing. I'm coming back. Sorry to another topic, Mila. The times, so time zones in
Yeah.
this time frame in the fours, and this lady in the UK, she's great. She's really great. It's mother and daughter again, just her, and she lives near the meridian timeline.
Uh,
You know what she said to me? She said
huh.
they just shifted it. I, what? And she goes, yeah, they just shifted the sign again. I was like, because they shifted it way back in the 1800s as well. So that's to
Yeah.
me nonsense. So you
Yeah.
can see that because the way I see it is I see the roadsmen, the workers, the roadsmen, the government companies, and they come along and they go, got to shift this sign. Stop! All of you got to stop! Stop! We're shifting the time sign to over here. They go, no, 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 a bit more to the left. No, 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 keep going down the road a bit more, keep going, and they put the sign there. It's here now. That's it. And
Right.
then someone stamps it. It's the job's complete. It's stamped. That's the new time.
Right. Yeah. For
Okay.
this week.
But the nonsense isn't him shifting the sign, and it's not him stamping it. The nonsense is me believing it.
Yeah.
That's the nonsense.
Exactly.
I go,
Us following the silly rules that they're making up as they go.
yeah. So I go, okay. So, and then they'll go, oh, but that's science. And I go, okay, well, you're really making science look worse. So I would shut up now.
I
You know,
know.
the whole lockdown thing.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't get in more in your face than that.
Oh my
Yeah. And so, oh yeah, but that was different then. Oh, really?
God.
Wow. But the stars don't seem to change. The stars seem to stay on path. The
Right.
meteors do. The comets and meteors, they can't predict them. They're
Right.
like the whales. You have to call them in.
Yeah. This comet that we have right now, it's called 2024 PT5. If you look at it, it looks like points. That's the scientific name. It's also called Purple Mountain Atlantis, right? But because they discovered it in August 2024, this year, they just discovered it. They're like, oh, hey, look, there's this new thing. By the way, you segued in.
Oh no, hang on. I got to get my pen ready because she's saying, by the way.
Well, this is for everyone's knowledge and information. It's you can see it tonight before the sun even set. You can see it. So in the Northern Hemisphere, those of you who can, if you have a clear enough, sky, for the next couple of days, it's actually going to be it's illumination of -3. The smaller the number, the brighter the thing in the sky. -3, that's like that's a really small number, right? But if you look at that in the way the mathematics works, it's actually 4, right? So there's 4 again. But what this is an important thing to keep in mind, though, is that whether or not we can see something, it doesn't matter. It's still affecting us, like the solar eclipse that happened. It affected Elsa's toe. It affected me, and I can't. I was not in the path. I couldn't see it, but if I could feel it, it affected all of us. All of these things are affecting us. Here's the spelling for this comet. I've just given up trying to pronounce it. This means purple mountain in translation to English. This word that's ends with shan. There's just a lot. Oh, yeah. This was the other part of the, by the way, is we're still in the pause of the age of Aquarius until the 19th of November. So the Aquarian, we paused our age of Aquarius. And a lot of people have kind of forgotten that. This is all happening in this window where there's the annual thinning of the veil, the comets overlapping. During the same pause, we have these eclipse experiences. This annular eclipse that happened, the ring in the sky, the eye in the sky, happened over Easter Island. That's Mu, guys. We talked about Mu earlier. Mu is as Lumeria, Mu. Some of the different cultures or native cultures, tribes here talk about Mu also. They use the word Mu. Mu, the end of the Lakota prophecy of the Rainbow Warriors, the Rainbow Tribe. The end of the story is, because we've already done everything else, the sun shall weep into the other ocean and Mu shall rise again. We are right. Exactly. And so this all connects to everything that Elsa had said earlier. I don't know. I'm glad I'm so happy that I still remember all of this because we talked about it so much. But then also we are during this annual thinning of the veil. The veil is already thinned. Many of us are going to start to notice more and more experience. Whether it be ascension symptoms, I don't think that will be really it. It's ascension symptom is a symptom of ascension. People physically or typically will think it's a physical thing. So let me rephrase that. I think that we're going to have more spiritual or galactic kind of experiences versus physical discomfort, as a result of this window of time that we're in. And what's more, this is the last thing I'll say, and then I'll give it back to Elsa. We do probably need to wrap it up soon. I go to the bathroom soon. I've been drinking a lot of. I drank a whole drink anyway. Is the I've never heard ever Shushin Shun. Is that how you pronounce it? Thank you, Kenny. Shushin Shun. Is that this is the first time I've ever heard of there being 6 meteor showers in a single month. 6 of them in one month. I've heard of there being up to 3. That was very uncommon. So we've already had There was one on the 5th. There was one on the Tuesday on the 8th. There's one today. There's also going to be one on the 18th, the 21st, and the 24th. And don't forget, we're getting a squaring that hasn't happened since Mount Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD, the squaring of Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, and Uranus during our third of 4 supermoons in a row of the full moon that day. Dude, look how full my calendar is. Oh, you guys can't see it, man. It's so full. It's got so much on it. There's so much happening this month. It's crazy. This is just this month. Anyway. Thank you. Elsa, go ahead. I can't hear you.
You brought up a while ago the gas giants coming into they come into symmetry of each other. They become a square, so they become 4s. So now the gas giants are playing with us, really. So they're even the gas giants. They're in on it, right? The venters. Yeah, I know, right? It's cute. I laugh because they are cute. They want us to have fun. So this is the trefoil is the club, which is the 3 of the Newgrange, which is the clover, and they want us to be players. This is a club, a tool. A club is a tool, a player, and it's also leaf, and it's the power of contrast.
Yeah.
So whatever they throw at us, try and find another spin on it for you, and it will be different from wherever you are in the world or whatever you're going through. Find another spin on it, or get someone to help you find another spin on it, because they want you to enhance the contrast the other way. You can't have contrast only one way all the time. It's off balance.
Right.
And this is not heaven. This is not even in us. So now you got to balance it up, and keep getting. And you brought up this years ago, I think, the slingshot effect. And I feel like this is what's happened. Is so you have all the light workers. We've slingshot, and we're out there waiting for it to come back in. And I feel like this is what's happened. Like Dr. Joe said, a slingshot got to the furthest point, and now it's coming back in.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows what a bungee rope is like, or a ski rope that has elasticity in it, when it comes back in, it comes in fast. And it doesn't necessarily... So when it comes back the center point, it doesn't stop at center point. It goes completely the other way.
Yeah.
It's got to come back. It doesn't come back all in a neat package. It's got to find itself.
It's kind of messy.
It's got to find itself. And in finding itself, it's going to knock others out of orbit as well. That's why it doesn't matter how much meditating you do and stuff, you still get knocked around by these solar flares and everything, because it's the gas giants, it's the solar flares, it's astrology, it's religion, it's your ancestors, it's ET. Right. So that everyone's coming in going, so how are we going to do this now? Like, where do we fit? Like, everyone's trying to find their place. And as everyone's finding their place, it changes orbits. And this is constant change.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So if you're feeling a bit like off, just think of that slingshot effect, and you go, oh, yeah, I must be on the other sling side. and again, have a laugh at yourself. Like, don't beat yourself up. Go, okay, I'll go take what is it? Go back to sleep. Go Okay, get my
I have
pill.
a pillow.
I'll go get my pill and go low and be the true pillar that I am. I'm going to use this
Okay.
word all week now, Mila. Pillar. Thank you.
It's a thing.
But this pillar, September 11, was a horrible day
Yeah.
for many. Now spin this around, because by you knowing that this was the birth of Christ Day, now you're starting to go, what?
Yeah, dude. That's a big. I
As
didn't
Barbie would
know.
say, no coinkydinks.
Well, you did everything that you would do. Everything. I don't even remember how I ended up finding out that there was a Christmas tree sale, but it just worked out. And then it was delivered by the delivery man in the package, because it was an artificial tree. It was in the box of the tree, and he made a comment, and by the end of the day it was put up. And then it drew attention from the neighborhood, and they're like, you can't do that, you should do that. We're supposed to have Thanksgiving first. There's a way of things. You're not allowed to put your tree up until Thanksgiving dinner's over,
Yeah.
and this whole thing.
This delivery guy, I wish I was a fly on the wall, or like I wish you had like a camera on your head, Mila. So I can see him delivering the next thing to your house, going, "Oh, what has she got now?" And he's going,
And
and
there's
he'll
jack-o'-lantern that goes on top of the tree that lights up.
and you'll see him. He's just like, it's just, and he just like writes a note next.
Yeah.
And then his wife, so what did she do now? What did she do now? And then she tells all the neighbors, and then they all drive past at a certain time after they've dropped the kids at school. They all come past at the same time.
We even decorated our car. I never told you this, but we also found these Christmas decoration magnets. And so we decorated the car to have like pretend Christmas lights on it, because I have this white car and it blends in so well. I can never find it in the parking lot because everyone else's car looks like this. So we put these.
Press the button and then it lights up.
Well, it doesn't light up, but it makes it so you can see it from a million miles away. You're like, yeah, that's my car, and like, so we've been driving around with the Christmas car too.
This could be a thing, because this is a big problem. I think they've written a whole Seinfeld show about this, where they lose their car in their car park.
Yeah,
you press the button and you have Christmas lights and jingling bells. And you go, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great, Mila. Thank you. I'm so excited. I would love everyone to share if they do the whole Christmas tree thing.
Yeah.
Just their way, like not the Christmas way, their version.
It's interesting. When we last talked about this, I remember the comments. There was a handful of people, I can't remember the number of people now, all saying, you know what, I'm going to do this now. And it sure ruffled my neighbors' feathers, because they could see it every time they drive by. We have a tree lit up, and it's like, and here it's 85 degrees right now, 4:30 in the evening, and which is, it's not, it doesn't feel like winter, but we're celebrating. And it's funny because not only has it made an impact on so many people, but to find out now that was actually a time, the window of time, that's when we were doing that. We were telling the story later on, but we'd been doing it for a week or so before we did our show.
Well, you real time this, and now you have, well, this is biblical. You have witnesses. But it was the day of our. Well, the witness is also the day of the interview. That was the day.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that nonsense? You can say it's nonsense, but it happened, right?
Yeah.
You can say it's coincidence, but it happened. And then I bring this information up, which I thought I knew about, and I obviously knew nothing about. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't either. That's so cool. I'm so glad you told me. Thank you for sharing that.
But it coordinates now with the message pillar as well.
Yeah.
The pillars of us and September 11. These are big topics. I mean, these are big topics. We got Christmas, birth of Christ, that tragedy in September 11, which changed all of us. It changed how we all travel. And then the pillars of us, the sea act, the witness of us, Taurus, Horus. So look how many timelines we've just gone over.
Yeah.
This is a collapsing of times. It is the now of the fours. It's the power of the tree, of us, and be in celebration of it.
Yeah.
Which is what a tree is. A pillar. And you're the
And those
best because you
ancient
made
trees.
me realize it.
Thank you. One last part I didn't mention before is those ancient trees that got chopped down, the massive, enormous trees that are the roots of these trees are still there. Many have petrified or are in the process of becoming stone. But what was shown is that they're interlinked, intertwined, and it's a whole network, like a real network. What network means, the net all over the planet, and they're connected underneath the ground, right? And and so this is another way where we're all connected. So when we energetically in the next little while, we're going to find ourselves doing this more, where we're grounding our energy, we're digging our energy like roots of a tree down into the ground. When we do that, we connect into these trees that are already connected, and then we connect each other like a multi-use telephone.
A web. It's
A web.
a network is web. Network is web, and it's also thanks to Bob, which I only just posted. I only learned what amazing means is network. Amazing means network. It means A, which is the comet. A is A with the line through it, which is probably us and our heaven in us. The A.
Yeah.
And maze, which is the network of us. It's the web. The spider, it's the 8. So this is like you said, it's the tree, it's the network. It is connected to tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So celebrate the tree, the pillars of you, the trees of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool, Mila. I I feel like my soul is just filled up with smiles. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so glad you're able to make it. I
I'm
was I
sorry,
was
I was
like, "Oh,
late. I'm
no.
so sorry.
It's okay to be late." I was just like, I've been looking forward to talking with you, so I was, like, disappointed. So I'm so glad you were able to come.
It's
Awesome.
funny because we're finding out who we are, but Google can't. Google keeps going, "Are you a robot?" I go, "No, I know who I am. You don't know who I am." I'm Google's trying to keep up.
I think it's so funny.
It's
I
cute.
saw this person using a robot to click, "I am not a robot," like that button.
Yeah, as it is nonsense.
It's not real proof, you know? Thank you all for joining us today. I have been reading along as I always do and putting everybody's comments up here. Some really awesome sharings and connections. Um, Happy 1010. Yeah, we got a lot of energy coming in right now, and we got a lot of stuff, cool stuff happening, but I would I would say just that apart from anything else, if you have the ability to take a little bit extra rest, a little bit extra clean water and meditation right now, it will greatly improve your experience. Like all this other stuff, we have some really cool things and cool ideas, and dancing is really good, and qigong and all this stuff, but just taking a chill pill, letting yourself relax for a minute and to not feel guilty about being relaxed is the best thing you can do for yourself right now. And also, from what I understand, everybody could see this comet, not just the northern hemisphere. So, like during the sun being up, as well as when it's down, in the next little while, because it's moving up and past the horizon line, at least on this part of the hemisphere. So I don't know about the timing when it comes to the southern hemisphere, but everyone's going to be able to see it. For the northern hemisphere, though, the brightest it will be is on the 12th, which is Saturday for, and then it's the 13th, Sunday for the southern hemisphere. And so, just, I don't know, enjoy it and know as it's coming in, it's bringing us some kind of assistance. It's not been here since the fall of Atlantis, and it won't be back again for another galactic year. So it's saying, hey, this is the time. We're back. We're finally here. We did it. Good job. So anyway, thank you so much, Elsa, for
Thank you,
coming. I
Mila.
really enjoyed our
Thank you.
patience.
Yeah, thank you. And please, if you're new to Mila, please go and check her symptoms. It really does help. Yeah, it does. It helps you. It helps family members. It helps your pets. So many pets. Oh,
Yeah.
they're going through it as well. So please, 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 even if you have to go back and listen to Mila's Ascension symptoms, they're so helpful. This is the new way of healing. This is healing spirit and physical at the same time. It's beautiful. It's magical and it's amazing and it's us.
Thank you. It's true. We don't always have to medicate to find happiness and joy and balance, right?
Yeah. We're the pillars.
Meditate rather than medicate.
Yeah, no good. Yeah. Hmm.
I love you. Thank you for